The one of many times I was bullied as a personal shopper at a high-end boutique by a rude associate, and how I got this one back. So I went to Charlotte, North Carolina to a very high-end boutique, and this store was known for only carrying sizes 00 to like an 8, possibly a 10 sometimes. And I walked into the door, and keep in mind, I'm like almost 300 pounds at this time. I walk in the door, and I'm immediately greeted by this associate with a disgusted look on her face that I have never met before, and I had done plenty of business at this boutique before for my clients. And this associate walks up to me and reaches her hand out to me to shake it. I, of course, reach my hand out to shake hers. She lays her other hand on top of mine, comes closer to my face, and loudly whispers, "Honey, I don't think you're in the right store, because we only carry size 00 to an 8 and sometimes a 10 for the hefty girls." I was like, all right, B, in my head, I got you. I'm going to get your effing butt. So I was like, oh my goodness, I shop here all the time. And the look on her face was just like, yeah, right. You dreaming, And I immediately look to my right, and I see a sweater, just a random sweater. And I'm like, oh, I love that sweater. I want to try that on. Look at those jeans with that cute stud work. Oh my gosh, gonna have to try those on too. Her face was priceless. I walk over to that area, and I grab those 2 items. I think the sweater was a medium and a small medium, and the jeans were like a 6, She looks at me, and she's like, oh, well, those are really pretty items, and that'd make a gorgeous outfit. I'm like, I know, right? Can you open me a dressing room? She just looked in fear like, oh my God, if I don't do this, I might lose my job. If I do this, she's going to tear the clothes, and I might lose my job. What am I supposed to do? But she did it. She escorted me to my fitting room. She hung those 2 items up in the dressing room, and she literally stood outside the door, which never had happened before in my personal experience. Okay, like they at least walk a few feet away and give you some space. Not this one, not this Karen. So I just happened for some reason to have a scarf in my bag that I did not care much about, and I wanted to use it to get back at her. So I just jiggle the hangers a little bit, I sound like I'm putting clothes on. I even take my pants off, I think, just to give the illusion I'm truly trying this stuff on. And then I take the scarf out of my purse and I rip it. The noise on the outside of that fitting room, I will never forget. It was shock, it was fear, it was disgust, it was, oh my God, priceless. So I wait a few more minutes or a few more seconds, and I rip the scarf again. So I ripped it twice. Then I'm like, oh no. Like I said it loud because I knew she was right there. I said, oh no, I think I need a size up. Miss, Karen, because she is one. Miss Karen, do you happen to have these jeans in a size 8? Silence. Let me go check. Waits a few seconds. She comes back. I knew she didn't even go check. Well, we're out right now. We might have to order those, but they might take a month to come in. They're very popular. I'm like, oh, no big deal. So I get dressed, and I walk out of the fitting room, and the garments are in perfect shape. And she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry those didn't work out for you. I'm like, what do you mean? They worked out perfectly. I'm super happy. I'm ready to check out. The look on her face again was just like, is this a joke? But she just took them from me with this fake smile on her face and escorted me to the register. She asked me for my information, which is very normal, especially in high-end boutiques. I gave it to her. And she's like, well, I bet we don't have you in our system. And then I come up. And she was like, oh, well, you've been here quite a few times. I was like, yeah, I've picked up quite a few things here. Sometimes I usually call in advance and y'all have things ready for me. And she started looking. You could tell she was like reading every description of every order I ever placed. And she saw other names under each order under my name. And she was like, I see you're a personal shopper. I was like, yeah, I am. However, I want you to stop doing what you're doing and cancel that transaction. And I'm just going to wait for that associate right over there to help me, because she has always treated me like gold from day one. Even before she knew I was a personal shopper, she treated me like a human being, and you have not. And I do not appreciate it. And I hope this is a lesson to you. And, so goodbye. And she just looked at me, I'm so sorry, honey. I had no idea. I'm like, let this be a lesson to you, not to judge a book by its cover and not to treat people like shiitake. Yep. So I just waited while that associate, the other associate, was done with her client that she was with, and she came over and just started talking like we were best friends. I spent, I kid you not, like $9,000 in there for a client. I was bringing all this stuff to her house to try on, and of course I'd return what she didn't want, which was rare and very little returns. So those associates that treated me good made damn good commission with me, and that bee missed out. But I hope she learned a lesson. Yep, that happened.